Netflix and Hulu and these Fire Sticks and Chromecast. We see all these things as great things today. But in actuality, it's really becoming a crippling thing for our people. Because you got people nowadays, they just can spend hours upon hours upon hours watching something that has no beneficial to them. And so this is what's going on. Verse 15.
The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his goings.
Look at this. He said the simple man believe everything. You got some people right now that whatever people post on social media, they believe it. I remember somebody put a fake news post up, I think maybe last year. They put a little kid in a Ku Klux Klan outfit, costume, whatever you want to call it, and had on there that said Chick-fil-A said they don't serve niggas anymore either. And you had all these people just going in, resharing and saying, you know what, I'm done with Chick-fil-A. I'm not even going to Chick-fil-A. But they didn't even realize that junk was fake. But just because they saw it on social media, they made a decision about their whole entire lives. And so many of you are seeing what people are doing on social media, and you think, yo, this is the way I need to go. Bump what my pastor's saying. Bump what the Bible is saying. This is what it seems like I need to do. Let me read verse 15 again.
The simple believe every word.
The simple believe every word. Don't make no difference what somebody say. If it looks good and sounds good and it comes with a lot of charisma, they believe every word. Some of your favorite preachers and people are people that the enemy is sent to destroy you. But because it sounds real good and it comes with a say yeah, say yeah, say yeah, you believe every word and you don't even go back and verify. Some of the times I've been in churches and I've heard what people are saying and people are amening it. It really breaks my heart. So the simple believe every word, but the prudent does what?
Looketh well to his goings.
He considers everywhere what he does. He breaks it down. I'm going to go back and I'm going to read this Bible for myself. I'm going to study it for myself. And to make sure that I'm actually following what the Most High said versus what man said. Verse 16.
A wise man feareth and departeth from evil, but the fool rageth and is confident.
A wise man fears and departs from evil. But a fool does what?
Rageth and is confident.
For some people, they know that these things that they're involved with are against the Most High. But because everybody is doing it, they're going to be a part of it. The Most High gave me a message, and I'm so excited about it. We're going to be doing this later on this year. It's a series. It's going to be not just one message, but it's a series called Out of the Closet, Out of Control. And I'm so excited about giving this message. Most High gave it to me about 2 years ago, actually, but I haven't had an opportunity to do it yet. He hasn't released me to give it yet. And what that means is that once everything became okay, now people no longer hide anymore. Once before, certain things wasn't celebrated, but now you got this group over here that celebrates this, and this group over here celebrates that. And now because it's celebrated, you can find somebody that'll give you a high five for doing those things. You say, hey, I'm going to do it. Because I can just go over here and it's celebrated. Now, I know they saying this is wrong over here, but over here they say it's all good, so I'm going to do it because it's all good over here. So the wise man fears evil because he knows that he doesn't want to be a part of anything that the Most High is against. But the fool raises in his own confidence, saying, you know what? Hey, I got it popping. They say I'm popping. Everything I say get retweeted. Everything I say get 100 likes. Every picture I post get 200 likes. It don't make a difference, man. If they feeling me. But you get to ask yourself, is the Most High feeling you? Now, for those who are currently not walking with Christ, I'm going to ask you a question. How many more days are you going to lie to yourself? How many more days are you going to tell yourself over and over, you know what, I'm going to get right tomorrow? How many more times are you going to say, this is my last week in the club? How many more times are you going to tell yourself that, you know what, this is my last time fornicating? This is my last hustle. Bro, how many times are you going to lie to yourself and say, you know, once I get this work off right here that I got, get this work off, I'm going to get out them streets. How many more times are you going to lie to yourself? How many more times are you going to continue to do the things that you know that is destroying you? Everybody's screaming this Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. But many of you who are screaming that live your life as if your own life don't matter. If you want to say that Black Lives Matter, it must start with your own life mattering. Amen? So, today's lesson is you must be able to look past what your eyes can see. Now, go to me Psalms 127. We talked about this last week, but I feel a need to revisit this due to the fact of the matter to set the understanding of what we're talking about. Now, we talked about the fact that last week that the original writers of this Bible were all Israelites. They were standing in the authority. And everything changed in 325 at the Council of Nicaea that was set up by Constantine and the Romans. And now the religion of Christianity was birthed there. And this is what you have the nations of Europe and America being built upon. The religion of Christianity versus the Bible. And those people who consider themselves to be Christians versus the authority of what the original Israelites set in order as the authority and the standard. So now, as a result of that, today what we consider to be normal, 50 years ago would have been considered abnormal. Like the things where you turn on your TV and what comes on regular TV, like I ain't talking about the HBO and Cinemax because they're porn now. They're basically porn sites now. You can't even have that stuff in there. They're going all the way now. But I'm talking about your ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox. What comes on at 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock at night would have been considered R rating back in the day. But it's normal. What goes on in our hood, it would have been considered abnormal. Now it's normal. What is allowed in our churches, what are the things that these leaders are doing, was considered abnormal. You would have never seen some of the things that these pastors are doing, these leaders are doing, these churches are part of, things that are allowed, things that are celebrated and allowed to continue on. You would have never seen those things going on in the church 50 years ago, but now it's normal. Many of the things that are considered right today, 50 years ago was deemed wrong. Like it wasn't even up for discussion. Now everybody has their own personal discussion about what's right and what's wrong. 50 years ago it was deemed completely wrong, but now you get a high five for it. You get celebrated for it. Some would say that these are signs of our country becoming more progressive and modern. But what I declare to you today is that the true spirit that built this country is not really what it is. It's coming from behind the curtain and showing its real truth. Because we told you that in 1513, when Martin Luther wrote his thesis, the 95th thesis, when they broke away what they called the Protestant Reformation, still the standard and the authority did not return to those of the Bible. It still stayed with Gentiles, and which all that did was birth more confusion. At least during the time before that, you only had one church, was the Catholic Church, was Catholicism. Now we know they were off, way off, but at least you had one ideal of what was going forth. But because of the Protestant Reformation, now there's thousands of denominations worldwide, and they're saying they're all following the same God and the same Christ. How can that be? So, Psalms 127, verse 1.
Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman walketh but in vain.
Except the Lord build the house, they who labor in vain. Okay? Now, it said